Hey guys, welcome to another video. Sorry it's been a while since I posted. As you can probably tell by my voice, getting over some sort of funky virus or something. Who knows, It's like, but don't worry, I'm past the worst of it. I'm feeling better now. I'm back to work, working on my hood range, and wanted to show you I'm making panels for the crown part of the hood range. Now I'm putting a sort of a satin finish on the whole thing, so I wanted to show you. I sand it down with the what do you call that? The palm sander, and it gives it this sort of swirly look over here. I got a heavy grit sandpaper on it, but I've got a little sander here. This goes on one of those. What is it? I think this virus probably gave me some kind of brain rot or something. But anyhow, you know what that is. We'll call it a sanding pad for now. And what I do is just go in circles, small circles, and sand a little bit, and then turn it, and go some small circles again, and just keep going. And once you sand that area down a little bbit, go ahead and turn it again, and sand it down, turn it again, and just keep doing this until you get a nice, smooth, satin-looking finish on it. And it doesn't take too much. You can, if you're not happy with the finish, you can always go back and do some more. But it's good to keep turning the piece so you don't get, just swirls all going one way. And, something like this is going to get cleaned over the years. So you don't want it to be a polished finish to where if someone takes a Brillo pad to it or something, and it's just going to ruin it. So you want to kind of pre-scratch it. Let's pre-scratch it. But just keep turning it and keep sanding it until you get a nice finish on there. That hopefully you can see that. It just gives you a nice sort of a satin finish there. Okay, so second part of this is to measure it out. Take my little roller here and my steel pencil. And I'm going a 1 inch lap for my seams, or hems, I should say. And as you can see, this is why I don't film a lot of my work, because it just takes so long to get stuff done. My videos would be hours long, not minutes long, but hours long. I don't think anybody wants to sit there and watch me work for, 2-3 hours. I worked about 6-7 hours on this panel. I'll show you here when I get ready to put it together. And so you got to cut the pieces, you got to mark the pieces, you got to sand the pieces, you got to bend the pieces. So really a lot of pre-work, before you can actually start making the piece, you have to prep the piece, cut the piece, prep the piece. But yeah, we'll get it. Eventually we get there. Just like everything else. Now, working on stuff like this, you really have to learn patience, because if you try to rush it, then it's not going to end well. I can tell you that it's not going to. It's got to, especially these panels here that I'm making, precision is the key. So you want to make sure that every mark, every line, every bend is exactly where you want it, or exactly where it needs to be. And no mistakes, because one mistake it's really frustrating. You go to put something together, it doesn't go together because you didn't take your time and you got in a hurry and something's off, and you got to take it apart and kind of start over, replace that piece, or make a cut, or change the bend. Once you bend something, though, it's bent. But so this is I'm just making my lines for my 1-inch overhang here to be able to make my hem. Now, before I do that, I want to cut the corners off. Here, I'm cutting corners, but I just want to get those corners out of my way, pretty much. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting right up to the corner. Now, let's see if I could maybe get that. But cutting that corner off, and hopefully you can see where I am, just right on that corner right there. And do that all the way around. Now, I guess you could go and use a speed square, and if you wanted to take your time. Pretty good with tin snips. Developed a pretty good some hand-eye coordination with them, so pretty confident I can get right in there where I need to be. But get those corners cut off, and we take our handbrake and start bending them up. And this, I do this pretty much 3 bends. I'll get my bend started. And as you can see, I've got a little bit over here, that's not in the handbrake. So I want to move that over and catch that, right? Give a bend in there, and then come over here to the other side and do the same thing. And then I could bend it pretty much the rest of the way there. And that gives me a nice clean bend there from end to end. And that's important in a piece like this. And you'll see why once I get this made up. Like I said, on something like this, precision, patience, precision, it's all very important, because just one bend will really just ruin the whole thing, seriously. But now, if I just tried to bend this without moving the brake from side to side, these would be curled up out a little bit, and I wouldn't have that straight line across there. So you'll want to make sure you get a good bend on all of it. And once you bend it once, it'll follow. It's not too bad, but you definitely, if you want that nice clean line there from end to end, you got to take your time and move your brake around. Unless you got a bigger handbrake that covers the whole thing. The only thing with that is once you bend up, you'd be running into the sides, so that wouldn't work either. But like I said, it takes patience to get it right. And there you go. There's that piece there. Now, once I get it to this point, I do like to check it, make sure that I don't have any heavy swirls like right there. And if I do, now's the time to hit it one last time. And clean it up a little bit. As you can see, getting a nice satin finish on there. So this is ready. We'll go ahead. Now we have to cut 2 of these off and take about half. And this is for making the hem. So we want to cut half off of this one. And flip it around here. Take half off of this one. And about half. Hopefully that'll get into our seam. And then we're making the other female part of the hem. Just bend these up. Again, about halfway. Now this bend here, I found once you get to this point here, you want to let up on your brake and then just let it relax on there so you're not pinching it and putting a loop into this bend back here. And then just let it go, let it relax, bend it up, again, let it relax. And then that way you're keeping that bend more straight. If not, you'll round it up. And I may have taken just a little bit off, a little bit too much. Oh my goodness. See, that's what I get for stopping and starting again. So, darn it. Let's see. I have to correct that. So what I'll do is just take a little bit off of that. Can't have that sticking up. It may be time to try to sharpen these shears a little bit. Jeez. All right. Hope that doesn't get in my way. And have to cut that again, or cut the male part. So let's try this again. Like I said, go about halfway up. And like I said, once you get to that point, let it relax. There we have a pretty good bend there. You don't want it coming up above here, and that's what I was doing over here. So we are ready for to put that piece in. And this is the last full tile that I'm putting into this. And this piece, let's see this is the one I cut. So let's see if, of course, that's not the one I need. So I'll have to make that piece. And I'll just have to make sure that I make that piece a little bit shorter so it fits down in there flush. And a little bit too far. Back up. Okay. And get it down to where both pieces are flat. And make sure you're lined up where you want to be, which is right there. Now when you have a piece over here, you should be able to run this corner over and run right into this piece here. But and we take our awl here. We can turn this one around. Put a little on this back so it's a little bit easier to get to. Let's see. Just make sure that everything's down, flat and even. Make sure everything's lined up to where it needs to be. And we'll put a little mark in here, a little indentation, so our drill bit isn't walking away with us. So we'll go ahead and put a rivet in there, keep that moving on us. And again, make sure now's the time to check, make sure you're lined up, make sure it's nice and flat where it needs to be. I think I might have to drill that out a little bit more. What's going on here? There we go. All right. Do that over here on this side. All right, almost there. There you go. Now, of course, I'll fill these pieces in. This is going to be one panel, and this you'll have one on each side of the crown of the hood. So once I get these filled in, these pieces, we have 6, 7, and then 8 here, and 9, 10 pieces will finish this into a square panel. So once I get that done, get it all put together, then I will put a patina on it and get a patina on all my other pieces, and we will be ready to put this together. But I thought, hey, it's a little crazy. You got big pieces of sheets of copper, and, what's more fun than to cut it up in a bunch of little pieces and then reassemble it? But, this will add character to it and beauty. And, people, hopefully they'll look at it and understand that this isn't something that was punched out at a factory. Someone took their time and created this, and hopefully it'll be appreciated. But I figured I'd show you guys that, just to show you how I was making these tile, if you will. And so it's come along. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. I'm not really sure if I'm going to make it as far as having enough copper to finish this project. May have to get a little bit more, but I do have the header is done. Most of the crown is done, the side's done. So I've got these pieces to make, and then of course put it all together. And like I said, get a patina on it, get it cleaned up, get it assembled, and get the exhaust hood installed, and get it all together and get it put in place and have it working. And I think it'll be I know something that I'll appreciate. So I apologize for my voice. Hopefully I get it back here in a few days. But thank you guys for watching. And as always, man, I will catch you next time.